Okay. How's everybody doing today? I think it's what?
Doing good.
Awesome, awesome. Let's see here. This is okay. Cool. All right. So if you, I don't know if if you guys have Robert, Alfredo, if you guys have logged in, there's a couple of new items in here, an Excel spreadsheet for the memory jogger. There's a Excel spreadsheet for a business tracker, and then the business plan, which Steve should be going over here in a little bit. And then I got a couple more scripts I got to add in here for the closes. And then one last. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, so if you guys, if you need to get access to any of the stuff that we'll be sharing, resources, we're going to be having like recordings and all kinds of other stuff inside the members area as well. Down here, we'll be adding resources that we've compiled over the years. So if you ever need access to this or you can't figure out where to log in, you go to the bottom of extremeagentsvip.com and it says active member login. And if you click on that, you'll be able to log into the member area. So if anybody's ever looking for that, active member login on the bottom of the page, that will take you to all the resources where you can log in. What's up, Steve?
Jesse and everyone on the call, I'm so excited to be here today. We were on John's, I was listening on John's size call, which is always awesome and inspirational, motivational to me because John is he's a freaking robot, man. He does what he says he's going to do every single day. And he never ceases to amaze me. The amount of energy, effort, and just pure discipline and willpower that guy has. So it gets me excited. You know, just to hear him talk. I hope you guys, during this time, it's really important for myself and everybody else, I would hope, is getting as involved as possible throughout this entire, you know, time that we're going through right now. And let me just mute everybody. I'll give everybody a minute to get on here. I know everybody was on John's call, so I'll give everybody just a few minutes. If anybody that's on wants to grab their business plan, I'm going to go over the quarterly business plan right now. We're going to go over the quarterly business plan. And Jesse, what else are we going to cover today?
And then I was going to let them know about the tech and marketing training we're going to be doing. That's going to be tomorrow. So
okay,
I'll give people a link for that. And then just if anybody's having issues logging in, making sure they can get access to all the resources we're sharing. So
why don't you go over the tech stuff that you're going to go over that real quick?
Okay. So if you guys, tomorrow we're going to do it at 2 p.m. Let's see, this will be 4 p.m. Central Time. We're going to go over how to create an email newsletter and how to make it so it's not boring and so that it's actually engaging. So we're gonna learn a few marketing strategies for actually communicating with your database. And if you need to add people to your database, I got a couple of cool scripts that we'll go over for that. So tomorrow you'll just go to extremeagentsvip.com/tech and it'll take you to this page. And this is like a YouTube placeholder. We'll go live here. And then I'll give you scripts and a couple of things that you can create a newsletter for your database to stay in touch with them. So that will be extremeagentsvip.com/tech. I'm also going to add that link on here as well to the Extreme Agents VIP page. And then again, lastly, if anybody's having trouble logging in, get the resources, go to extremeagentsvip.com, scroll down to the bottom, click active member login. That'll take you to take you to the login where you can get all of the tools that we're adding in here, different spreadsheets. Cool.
Yeah, Jesse, I'm still having trouble logging in. I'm embarrassed about it. I'm pretty good at this stuff, but this is Jim Zigmont. I still can't get in. Won't let
Okay.
me. So
Okay. Well, I'll send you a new login. We'll start over from scratch. I'll delete your existing login and we'll create a new one.
okay. Thank you.
Cool. All right. I'm good, Steve. So
Okay.
I'll quit sharing my screen.
All right. Why don't you, why don't you go ahead and share did you have a PowerPoint set up or not? If not, it's okay.
No, because I figured we were just going through the business plan, so I didn't do that.
Got it. Okay. So I appreciate everybody being here. Let me change the screen share here. So share my screen. Screen share. Hopefully I've got appropriate material up on my screen right now. Just kidding. I always do. All right. Let me go here and we have the business plan. Okay. All right. So I hope everybody was on that call with John. It was all about mindset. We've talked about mindset, and it's really important right now for me and everybody else to be very connected with this group and, any group you can possibly get connected with here at EXP and, real estate agents, because life goes on, business goes on. And, mentally there's a lot of hurdles right now that we have to overcome or we have to jump over. And what John suggested and what's been suggested to me by my coach is, basically we have to, hold on a second here, mute. It's very important to keep our daily routine intact. And because I'm spending, you guys are probably spending more time at home and less time out and about, it's a good time to look at kind of what we're doing on a daily basis, whether we have bad habits or good habits. Try to eliminate one of your bad habits that maybe you've had your whole life. I have bad habits. I'm trying to eliminate one habit a day and reintroduce something new that's a positive habit. I started working with an online personal trainer to try to get some of my, body in shape that, I've been putting off for a long time. I work out 4 days a week, but I've been, 4 or 5 days a week. I've been doing the same workout for years and years. Because I like it. It's comfortable. Well, I need to work on some other, parts of my body so I have better stability and so I can, stand up and make these calls every day. At my age with my knee surgeries and back surgeries, I want to be in the best shape possible moving forward. I want to be in great health. So, I took it upon myself to get a personal trainer and start really working on some of the things I need to work on. There's no time like the present because there's, all we have is extra time right now on our hands. Let me just mute everybody again here. Okay. So I was struggling earlier this week mentally as well. I do all the time, quite frankly. I constantly have to work on my mindset. I constantly have to get myself into a positive mindset. Jesse helps me with that quite a bit. That's one of the reasons we partnered up. He's always very upbeat and positive. I tend to be a little more focused on, get out of my way. Let's just get this done, move forward. And I don't really take, the extra time to do those little things or enjoy life. So, I'm trying to do those things right now. And as far as the mindset goes, there's things in our website that I'm not going to go over all that stuff, but there's certain things that you can do on a daily basis that helps improve that mindset. And one of the things my coach, I talked to my coach the other day and I said, is my connection good? Everybody hear me okay? Okay. So one of the things that I was struggling with is making these calls during this time. And, it's in the back of my mind, it's like, people don't want to talk about business right now, blah, 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 all the negativity that's going through a lot of people's heads. So what my coach had me do was write those things down, write down those limiting beliefs that I have, that people don't want to talk right now, that business is slow, that I'm behind on my goal, blah, 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 blah. I wrote all those down and I reworded them in a positive statement. And then I reinforced that belief positively. So, how do I do that? Well, like John talked about, go to the MLS, just do a search radius of, 5 miles around your house and pull up how many homes have went under contract in the last 30 days or the last week. Pull up how many properties have closed in the last 30 days or the last week. Pull up how many new listings have come on the market in the last 30 days or the last week. I 100% guarantee you there's a lot. I look at those numbers daily. If you're in Illinois and you have, or I'm sure every MLS has this, if you go, you can do a setting where it shows, you put in variables, demographics of a search, and you can have a pie chart up on your screen when you open your MLS to see how many homes are under contract today, how many homes just got listed, and how many homes, are for sale, active, closed. You can get all those stats up to the day, and they're automatically on your dashboard. So there are a lot of properties that are going under contract and people are still having to move. I can personally tell you that I don't have a big listing inventory right now. God, I wish I had more. I always do. You'll never hear me say I wish I had less listings. But I've had several go under contract in the last week. And these were from showings that some happened a week ago. Some are still happening. Some are from properties that are unoccupied, but there's transactions taking place. There's closings coming up. So just because we think it's the end of the world and everybody wants us to believe that we can't do anything, that nobody's working or doing anything, that's not correct. I had to reinforce that belief by really looking at the reality of what's going on and the reality of how many deals have I really had that fell apart. I've had 2 out of like 15 that have fallen apart. And they've come back together. One of them has. So it's not the end of the world. There's still business out there. I have to look at what's really going on and not what my subconscious is telling me, which is all the negativity that the world is throwing at us. So those negative beliefs about the market's not, the market's slowed down, people aren't doing this, people aren't doing that. I have to reinforce those, with things like, the market's very active right now. It's a very good time to buy. It's a very good time to sell. There's less inventory right now. So if you're a motivated seller, you have your home on the market right now and everybody else is pulling their property off, which not everyone is, but there's a large majority of people that are. They're going to be able to look at yours and they're going to have less inventory to choose from. So that's always a positive for a seller. And with rates so low, we've seen record mortgage rates in the last 30 days. And a lot of those people locked in a rate, they have to buy or they lose that rate probably in the next, 30 to 60 days or less. So those people are motivated for not just the fact they have to move, but maybe they locked in that 3.1% interest rate and they need to make something happen here in the next couple of weeks. So there's a lot of reasons, a lot of motivated people out there. So if you're stuck on what to do, who to call and what to say, let's go back to the basics. This is really important. What am I doing? I'm making 30. I've revamped my daily schedule and my weekly schedule from direction, via direction from my coach, because I was trying to do too much. I'm human. I would rather set my goal or my daily activities a little bit more realistic so I have to work hard at it. But if I'm not going to hit my daily 42 contacts a day, 2-3 days in a row, the integrity and the mindset for me shifts into a very negative place quickly. So I had to look at that and really see, why I was making so many calls or why I was doing that, and scale it back a little bit to something that I know I can do, yet is still a little bit of a push. So I'm doing 33 contacts a day. And who am I calling? The first people I'm calling is I'm following up with anybody that I have talked to in the last, whatever. I have a follow-up calendar with people that I've talked to that need to be followed up with. So I want to follow up with those people and just touch base and see if, they still had plans to put their house on the market this spring and what the time frame was. One of the things I really like that John said today is don't bring up all the issues or whatever perceived issues there are going on. Just stick to the scripts. If you want a script for anybody you're calling, we have it in our website, extremeagentsvip.com. The basic scripts are in there. Those are scripts that I use. Those are scripts that John uses. Those are scripts that probably, a couple thousand agents out there in the country that are selling a lot of properties use. They might seem stupid or, common sense or whatever you feel about them. It doesn't matter. I want to stick to the scripts because I know they work and they still work in this market. So I'm following up with people that I have in my follow-up. I'm then calling past clients and sphere of influence, and I'm just touching base with those people. These are people I know, I've done business with, they know me, they like me. Usually I like them. Usually they like me, not always. But I just call them and I this is one that's a little bit more personal. It's not, you can change the script a little bit with your sphere of influence and database. And what's been suggested to me that's worked is just to call them and say, hey, I just wanted to touch, this is Steve with eXp Realty, your realtor. I just wanted to touch base and see how you're managing with everything going on. How are you doing? And you're just reaching out and trying to be of contribution. I just wanted to call some of my favorite clients and see if there was anything that I could help you with. We're busy here, but I do have a little extra time. Is there anything that you need that I can help you with? And they're going to be like, wow, this is insane. This guy, he's willing to help. This is pretty cool. And then they're going to ask you, well, how are things with you? And you could just, tell them, say, hey, we had a couple closings last week. We've actually, been kind of busy. It's been an interesting time, but life goes on and business is moving forward. That's it. And then you can just, end the conversation. You don't have to ask for business right now from these people. You just want to be there to let them know that you care and that, you're alive and well and you're working. And if they need anything, they can call you. That's it. So that's another source that I'm calling. And I always call the expired, canceled, and for sale by owners. And there's not a whole lot of difference there. What I like about it right now, to put a positive note on it, is people are home right now. And a lot of people are answering their phone. And guess what? There's less competition. There's not as many agents working right now. So even if I don't get somebody on the line till 10 or 11 o'clock down the list, where usually they won't answer, or usually they will say, oh, I've had 25 calls already. What the hell are you calling me for? Now it's like, oh man, I've had 2 or 3 calls about this. So I know there's not as many people making calls because that's the reaction that I'm getting. And you know what? If I just go through the scripts are in there. You just go through the script. And if they give you the objection of, man, I took my property off the market because of all this Corona scare. I don't want people in my house. I can completely understand that, John. I wouldn't want anybody in my house either. And what's interesting is the company that I work at, we specialize in online marketing, and we've had some really good results recently. Would you like to hear more about it? If they say yes, that's great. If they say no, then you go to the next question. But if they say yes, you know, you could set up a virtual Zoom call with them and show them what you could do to sell their house, go through the listing presentation. If you don't feel comfortable about that, I'm here to help. If you get somebody that wants to do a virtual listing appointment, let me know. I will help you with that. No strings attached. We'll do a little presentation and show them why EXP is different and why they can use our technology to sell their house in this market. And we can show them proof that it works. So I'm just trying to help you guys overcome all the, you know, negativity and objections. And I know I'm very, you know, blunt about it, but you know, we have to continue to move on with business, and you know, take this time to really fine tune your schedule, your skills. And John talked about it on the other call. You know, you can get involved in role play groups. We have several role play groups if you want to practice these scripts live with somebody in the morning. I did that for years. I still do that periodically, but I did a lot of role play early on, and it really helped. It's just like practicing if you're, you know, in a sport or something. Practice makes perfect. So one last thing I want to touch on, and then I'll go through the business plan, is database. Jeff Quinton, that's who John mentioned during the last call. For you guys that don't know, Jeff Quinton he's out in New Jersey, and that guy probably does, I don't even know. I know he makes like, you know, $2.5 to $4 million a year. He is a superstar agent. He follows this plan exactly the same one that we do. And his suggestion is to get 1,000 people in your database. Holy crap. 1,000 people, that sounds overwhelming. I can tell you right now that John has 1,000 people, or 700 or 800 in his database. Steve Merritt has about 220. Shame the frick on me, man, because I can look and I get about probably 20 to 30, 20, 25 deals a year out of my database. If I could add another 5 people a week to that database over the next 30 days, what's that math, Jesse? 3 times 5, 150?
Yeah.
That's at a 10% conversion rate. That's another 15 deals a year. What the hell am I doing? You know?
And so tomorrow we're going to go over that, how to message these people, because I have a 9-word message you can send to people, as well as a more like value-based email as well. So we're going to go over that on the tech call tomorrow, and I'll record that in case you can't make it. But
what time is that call, Jesse?
It's 4 p.m. Central.
Can you send out an email or an invitation, and then Pushkar can send that out to everybody on the call so they can get an invite?
Definitely.
Thank you. So one of the things that Jeff Quinton told John recently was, you know, start adding people to your database. He said, go to your address book, your phone, which we've talked about that before. Go to your social media and start adding people like crazy. This is a perfect time. If you're bored, at the very least, if you don't talk to anybody over the next week because you just can't wrap your head around it, develop the most badass database you've ever seen. Just put 500 people on there that know you are alive in the world. Put them on that list, and we'll help you over the next 12 months. Send them value so they will not forget who you are, and they will definitely know who you are and what you do. Okay? They'll know that you're there, you're consistent, you're in the market, you understand what's going on, and that you can help them if they have a need for buying or selling. And I want to work on this with you guys because I need to work on it. And Jesse, let's make that a point to really work on the database.
We all do. The money is in the list. So
that's been my, you know, I'm going to be very transparent. That's John's side does, you know, he averages 125 deals a year, probably 100, 125. I average about 60. And the difference is his database. He gets like 70% of his business from his database. I get like 25%. And it's only because I haven't taken the time to dial that in. So any one of you could do more deals than I do next year if you get a 500-person database together. That's a big deal, a big freaking deal. But I'm just so focused on, I got to make these calls to expires and canceled every day that I sometimes, you know, don't see the forest for the trees. So database is huge. All right. Business plan. All right. We have 3 different types of business plans. We have a yearly business plan. We have a quarterly business plan and a monthly business plan. This is a yearly one that I pulled up here. You can use it for 1 year. You can use it for 12 months. It's basically a 12-month business plan. Now, I use my year. It's been different this year. I've started my year on November 1st, and that's because the cap period and the year for me, the 12 months at EXP starts November 1st. And it's a big deal if you're trying to be an icon agent based on how many deals you have to do. So I start mine November 1st. And what I do is I write out the business plan. The first thing you want to do in here is you want to write out, just put the year in there, put your income goal. Obviously, if everybody doesn't have this, it's on the website. I would suggest filling out a 12-month business plan, and then we can also fill out a quarterly business plan, and I'll show you how that works. This will be for the next 12 months, your income goal, the number of deals that you have to do to reach that income goal. So if you haven't closed any deals, just take the number $5,000. That's kind of on the low end, but that's an average per deal commission check, okay? So take 5. So if your income goal is $100,000 at 5,000 a piece, how many deals is that, Jesse, for the year?
Oh, sorry.
That's really bad math on my part. 5,000 times what equals 100,000? 20
deals. 20 deals.
20 deals.
Sorry.
If you got to make 100 grand, put 20 deals in that deal in that deal number right there. Can you see my pointer here?
Yeah, we got
Okay.
you.
So this is important too. How many in this 12-month business plan, how many have you currently closed? You know, if you're going to start April 1st, then, you know, you haven't closed any. If you got one if you got a current pending that's going to close in April, put those in there. Okay. How many deals left to achieve your goal? 20. So these numbers for people that have not been doing a lot of prospecting are going to be, they're not going to mean a whole lot. You're not going to know what to put here. For me, for what I would suggest for you guys, even if you're brand new, for every 120 contacts, you should be able to take a listing or do a deal. That's a lot of contacts, but if you take 120 times 20, what do you get, Jesse?
I'm sorry.
That's 2,400 contacts, okay? So how many days are in the next 12 months? How many working days? I'm going to use a rough number. I know these numbers. 240. Let's go with that. That gives you plenty of time to recover from coronavirus. It gives you plenty of time to take vacations, Christmas, all that crap. So if there's 240 working days in the next 12 months and you have to do 20 deals and you're being conservative about your prospecting, 240 working days. So 2,400 contacts divided by 240 is what, Jesse?
10.
Oh my God. Can everybody here make 10 contacts or talk to 10 people a day that potentially might be buying or selling or know somebody buying or selling? I'm thinking yes, right? So to make $100,000 a year, even if you just got your real estate license, if you prospect and make 10 calls a day, the chances of you being able to close 24 deals is pretty darn good. If you really do that, I can virtually guarantee you're going to get 20 deals if you make those many calls, 10 calls a day. So that's what that breaks down to. How many calls could you or should you be able to make in an hour? I've done this for 7 years. That usually works out to about 10 per hour. 10 contacts a day takes you 1 hour times 240 days is going to equate to, is it 20 deals? 20 deals for the year.
And if you got like 150 people in your database, 600 of those contacts are going to be your database because you're going to call them 4 times a year.
There you go.
So that's a quarter of it already.
What's the main thing that we just that I just learned there and that we all learned? It's about the daily consistency. If any of us have ever had a real job, which I assume most of us have, and it was at, give me a real job, Jesse. If you work for IBM or Home Depot, whoever you work for, you're going to have to go to work at a certain time on a certain day of the week. And it's usually a minimum of 5 days a week. The great thing about real estate is you can work 5 days a week for 1 hour a day. And yes, there's going to be other work involved, but the real work is the prospecting. If I'm not prospecting, I do not count that as a work day for me. I'm to the point now where if I don't prospect, it's going to carry over in a real negative way for me. I've trained myself to prospect. So 1 hour a day, 10 contacts will get you $100,000. So we've talked about already who to call. And what the intention is to always try to get a listing appointment. And approximately for every 110 contacts, you should be able to take a listing. There's a whole process to that, but it's not that hard. We'll talk about that later on. And if you don't just want to make calls, you can also do open houses. Now, I would say on average, the number of people that come through an open house here, when we don't have this lockdown, obviously, we're not doing open house right now, but 2 weeks from now, a month from now, we're going to be doing open houses again. If you do them the extreme agent way, and we have a method of getting a lot of people there, you're going to get anywhere, a minimum of 5 people, okay? 5 people at an open house. Are some of those people working with an agent? Yes. Are some of the people that I call in my prospecting contacts working with an agent? Yes. Do I still count that as a contact? Yes. Because I talked to a person, I asked them 2 or 3 questions about buying or selling. I came to the conclusion that they are a prospect because they have the ability to buy or sell. Whether or not they work with me or they're working with another agent, I did talk to them. The numbers they never lie. They always come to fruition. I know the numbers. So, open houses, each open house counts as 5 contacts. So if you're not making contacts and you're 10 a day and you do 2 open houses during the weekend, I would count that as a total of 10 contacts. And I know that doesn't sound great because you're like, Steve, that means, I spend 3 hours or 2 hours in an open house and I'm only getting 5 contacts out of that, which really is like what percentage of contacts for the week? That's like 10%. Or what is that? 10%? I don't know. It's a small percentage of the contacts. Well, that's why I make calls and don't do open houses. That's the reality of it. So now that being said, if you do the open house the way that we're going to teach you how to do it and you get 20 people there, that's a different story. That's 2 days of prospecting. So just have integrity with yourself.
Real quick too.
Go ahead.
I mean, especially with this market and the way things are shifting, the quality of contacts that you have people are interested is going to be much higher. So because if they're really interested, they're really interested right now. So if they come to an open house in the next, several months, they're going to be more interested than somebody that's just a looky-loo. They're out there because they need to move. They need to buy. So the quality of your contacts are going to get better actually in this type of market.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
I wanted to just give a little tidbit. I've only been in the business a couple of years, and last year I did 48 deals.
Yeah.
When it comes to open houses, especially when you're new in the business, don't know much about it, right? People come to you, especially if you're shy, right? People will walk in, you get your little practice going. You might fumble here and there, might say the wrong things per se, but it's a practice thing, right? It's getting out there. I used to do open houses Friday evening, 4 to 7. People look at me like crazy. What are you doing? And then I do one Saturday, and 2 Saturday and 2 Sunday sometimes. Obviously different market, but for the newbies and stuff like that. And I got some good deals. I got somebody who say, we're looking to maybe upgrade our home, or we might look for a new one. Bottom line is we ended up getting them like a bigger house, and then we sold theirs like a double hit. So things are out there. They can happen. Absolutely. Everything works. Everything works.
It does. And we're trying to keep it simple here. We're trying to keep it, economically sound. This is a business that you can have that's going to be repeatable. You're going to be able to predict how much business you do. You're not going to have to spend a lot of money on leads at all. So that's the key here. And open houses and straight contacts are the best way to do it. And Mario, you're singing that for sure, as far as the luck you've had, or the, stuff you've done in open houses has been very effective. So yeah, I mean, if you do 3 open houses a week, and you're saying it's a different market, I mean, this is a temporary thing. There's not going to be a lockdown for much longer, and people are going to be out shopping for houses in about 2 weeks. So we're going to hit the spring market with a lot of pent up energy and a lot of people ready that have to move quickly. So it's going to be a great time for open houses. You should be able to get 10 or 15 people at your open house Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when things open up. All right.
One last little thing on that
Question.
too.
Yeah, let's go ahead and open it up.
Kind of what Mario was saying. You can network with a lot of EXP agents. Like I got an email from a local agent. He sent it out to 337 agents within 20 miles of here, saying, "Hey, I'm looking to partner with you guys, and this is what I specialize in, and we can work together." I mean, and he just went to the enterprise agent directory and messaged people like, "Hey, I'll hold open houses. I'll do whatever you need to." So there's a lot of opportunity. Just get a little creative, and no matter what, there's going to be somebody that's going to want to work with you, partner with you, let you hold their open house or whatever. So.
Yeah, and if anybody in our market has an issue finding an open house or doesn't know what to do, guys, reach out to me. And I just want to reiterate, I am literally like locked into my phone from 8 a.m. to 11 o'clock, usually longer, but just do me a favor and email me during that time, and I will get back to you after 11 o'clock. I'm the kind of guy that if somebody's texting me like between 8 and 11, and it's especially somebody that is a business partner like you guys are, I want to respond, and I want to help. And it takes me off of my game a little bit when I'm doing my contacts. And that's my fault because I'm still using my cell phone at my office. Just email me, and it'll be a lot easier to capture 15, 20-minute meetings with me, and we can talk about anything you guys are struggling with. I'm willing to help all the time, guys. Any questions right now? So everybody's just kicking ass and taking names out there. Nobody's struggling with anything. Everybody knows exactly how to do this. Everybody's already made their 10 contacts for the day. Everybody's already got 500 people in their database.
Yeah, right. I want to share something. Actually, today, I've been a real estate agent for 4 years. I just joined EXP on February 29th. Yay!
Awesome.
And I was on Lily Vasquez Shift Book Club group. We met this morning, and today, after 4 years, was the first day I actually picked up the phone and called anybody about real estate.
Awesome.
Congratulations. How'd that go?
I didn't die. I didn't die. Actually, it went really great. So they gave me, because I just would have this anxiety from all the stories I made up in my head. They said, phone a family member first, just to say, hey, how are you doing? Do you know anybody that wants to buy or sell? So I phoned my dad. He didn't pick up. I left him a voicemail. I phoned one past client because they're really elderly couple. And I thought maybe I could just offer to pick something up for them.
Right.
When I go out to the store or something like that. He didn't answer, so I left him a voicemail just saying, hope you're doing well. Let me know if I can help. So now I kind of felt like I was on a roll. I already realized I didn't die from leaving 2 voicemail messages. And then I called another past client, and he picked up. We chatted. We had a good conversation, and he literally today told me that, well, he started asking me questions about his tenants and how much notice he has to give his tenants, because he wants to move back into his income property and sell his other home. Yay!
There you go.
Imagine that, right?
Imagine that.
That's awesome.
Great
Helen,
job.
how many people do you have in your database from the last 4 years?
So I have over 900 opted in people in my database from doing squeeze pages.
Okay.
But I
are
never
those-
followed up with them.
are
And
those-
now I got to get them into KV Core because it's just a CSV file right now.
Okay, so you said 900 people from squeeze pages. So those are ads or things that you put out there and people opted into it. It's not necessarily people that you know.
That's right.
Okay. I would say this, that's great. I would call those people and contact them, but it's very important that we all understand a database is going to be people that that you know and they know you. Okay. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that you've done business with before, but it's somebody that you've talked to previously that you know on a personal level, or you know that knows that you're in real estate, maybe forgot, but those other ones are leads. So the only reason I want to differentiate between the two is because you're going to contact and you're going to market and you're going to talk to those people a little bit differently. And
Okay,
those,
so I have 1,000 then. I have 450 in my phone and 550 something in my social media.
okay. So you have, and those are people you know.
Yes.
Good.
Do you want to do 100 deals in the next 12 months, or is that too much money for you?
100 deals?
Yeah.
Okay, I would love to. Okay, but let me tell you something.
Okay.
Right now in my community, in my market, there are 84 houses on the market.
Okay.
That's the whole market.
How many? Okay. So in your community, how big is your community? Like what's the, how many miles out from your house is that? 85 homes.
Oh, 5 miles circumference and total population of about 6,000 people.
Okay. If you go 25 miles out, what's the population?
I'm really remote. I'm in the mountains.
Okay. Okay. A majority of those people of the you said 6,000 people?
Yep.
A majority of the people that live there, do they live there all throughout the year, or is there a lot of like vacation homes, or tell me more about it?
So we're a really historic old mining community. And we have about 2,500 houses, residential houses in the area. And about 50% of them are weekender vacation homes.
Okay. So of the 1,000 people you have in your database, how many of those live in that 6,000 person area that's close to you?
Probably about half of them.
Okay. So the other half, do they live like in other parts of Canada? You're in Canada, correct?
Yeah, I'm in southern Alberta. So the rest of them are in Calgary, where Simone and Pablo are. That's where I used to live.
Okay. do of those 1,000 people, how many of those people are potentially ones that own a home or would own a home or would buy or sell? Every one of them probably, right? At some point?
Potentially, yep.
Yeah. The great thing about EXP, and this isn't just limited to EXP, but it's a really, valid benefit, is all those 1,000 people, they're also going to know a few people. So you've got access to all 2,400 people, to do 20 deals very easily, just by reaching out to them and asking them who they know that might be buying or selling, and remind them that you have business partners in your company in every province in Canada and every state in the United States to help.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
even if you did 25 referral deals times 25%, could be $2,000. That's, $50,000 to $75,000 right there. And all you have to do is refer them to somebody like me or Jesse or Mario or whoever.
Yeah, I've made calls in Illinois, and that's Steve's market. Steve has made calls here in the San Francisco Bay Area where I'm at. I have a virtual assistant that's made calls in Florida. So it doesn't really even matter where you physically are. You can do deals in any market,
Yeah.
get a referral fee in any area of, life.
So I would encourage you, Helen, to treat all of those people like they are next door neighbors. And you've got 1,000 people there. Either call, text, mail, or email, or any combination of those things 5 times a year until they either tell you to leave them alone or take them off the list, or until your name and business is ingrained in their memory. So anytime anybody's buying or selling anywhere, they're going to call you first. And that's going to double your business, even if you're doing 50 deals right now. It's one of those things that's easier said than done, but we have the systems and we have the support group to help you do that. So 5 times a year, if you reach out to those people, you're going to do a lot of business. That's a big deal.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Someone
Any
else?
other questions?
I have a question, Steve.
Yes, sir. Nitshu, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Right.
My question is, I'm leaving my office at the end of this month and cutting down on my expenses. But do you think it is the right time maybe to start investing in KV Core to get whatever buyers or sellers out there?
In other words, you're going to be cutting your expenses by getting rid of your office, and you're wanting to know if you should put that money into KV Core?
Exactly.
My opinion on that is no. And I hate to say it, but I'm pretty straightforward. You're cutting your expenses, it sounds like, by quite a bit. I'm sure it costs you quite a bit to have that office.
Yes.
Do you have another place you can go and use other than your house? A shared office space, or like a...
No, I do not have one. I am thinking of staying at home until this thing is over. But at the same time, I'm thinking of using that expense to invest it in KV Core and start generating leads, right? The office doesn't bring me business, but KV Core would. That's the idea.
I understand that. And here's why I say that, Nitsu. I look at KV Core as supplemental to a supplemental part of my business. I cannot predict or rely on KV Core because I haven't used it long enough. I can't predict how much business I can get from that. So
Okay.
it's kind of a gamble. Your market may be a little different than ours, but I know that you make phone calls because we talked about this before.
Yes.
And what kind of results did you have from that?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I was impressed. I was calling for rent by owners, and I got a listing out of cold call and sold it in 2 days.
My God.
Great.
How much money did that put in your pocket?
About $8,000.
That's not bad. Okay, so my suggestion would be to, before you start putting money into other things like that, like KV Core, I would fine tune. I would try to add some people to your database and maybe use KV Core to systematically reach out to your database with, a couple of campaigns.
Okay.
So yes, you can use KV Core, and instead of spending money, spend a little time and use the free parts of KV Core to set up those already done for you campaigns to reach out to your database a little bit more frequently, and maybe set up a couple of free Facebook accounts, or what do you call them, pages in your area. So what my guys did here, my lender set up a page for one of the cities around here. It's just like a Plainfield, town around here, Plainfield, Illinois. And anytime I have, a listing or whatever, we do spend like $20 or I think it's like 20 or $25 a month. It's just a one-time fee to boost that listing. And you can get away with maybe $200 a month and do something like that. But, use all the free resources in there. If you dig around and learn about it, there's so much that's free in there. You really don't even have to spend any money. You just got to take the time to learn it. And I haven't done all that, but it works. I know that does work.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. You're welcome. All right. Any other questions? Then we'll wrap it up because we could be here all day. Jesse, you got anything to add?
No. So I'm posting the link, and I think Pushkar is going to send out an email for tech training. So we will go over that tomorrow, like the KV Core, sending out broadcast messages and not just spamming them with a bunch of nonsense, but actually making it very strategic and using some sales and marketing psychology to do that. So we'll cover that tomorrow as well.
That's awesome. And one last thing, and I know Jim, you sent me a list of your database. Anybody that wants to fill out the quarterly or yearly business plan and send it over to me and take some time to go over it. I've had coaches go over this with me for, every month for the last 5 to 7 years. So I can help you fill out a business plan that's going to get you exactly what you guys are looking for based on these sheets. So fill it out to the best of your ability. Email it to me. My email is steve@stephenmerritt.com, and I'll take a look at it, and then we'll set up a time to go over it. Fair enough?
Does everybody have access to the business plan? Jim, I already sent you a link, but anybody else not have access? Okay, everybody's good.
I don't have access. If you could.
Okay. So
On the website, Jesse.
extremeagentsvip.com. And I don't know if I can share my screen at all again.
I think you just have to set up an account
from there.
Yeah. So there's going to be a tab. There's a big orange button that says resources and scripts. Click on that and it'll take you to the page to create an account. When you need to log back in, come back to extremeagentsvip.com, go down to the bottom and it says active member login. Okay. So Extreme Agents VIP is where you get everything. And then inside that members area, once you create an account, email and password, there's a tools tab and there's a scripts tab. It has everything in there: quarterly business plan, 12-month plan, all this other, the monthly, the business tracker, the Excel spreadsheet for the memory jogger for your database. All that's in there.
Perfect. Thank you.
extremeagentsvip.com. And if anybody has trouble, email me. There's an email address on that page too. You can message me.
All right, guys. I think that's a wrap. Thank you very, very much. We're going to do this again on Friday, and we'll have another topic on Friday. So let's go out there and call that database.
Bam.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Be safe. Thank you.
Bye-bye.